Hi, I'm Carolee Noonan, a member of First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus, and Reverend Marion invited me to tell you about my chickens. So let's go take a look. As we walk over, I want you to see my shoes. I call these my chicken shoes because it's amazing how much poop chickens can make. So if you have chickens in your backyard, you probably have a special set of shoes too. So here's my coop. And as you look in, you'll see that there's 4 birds down on the ground. That means one is probably in the nesting box. And let's go on in. I think some of the chickens are going to come out while we do this. If my camera helper will zoom in on the egg that's down below the nesting box, you can see that sometimes they have a mind of their own and decide not to use the nesting box. So the essential pieces of this are that we have a watering system, that you can see I have a piece of exercise band tied to the top, and that's to keep the clip from sliding around, because the bucket will empty pretty quickly if it gets off center. And then over on the side you'll see that there's food, and notice how the food has a covering on it, and that's because chickens will roost up in the beams of this little chicken house, and they are indiscriminate in where they poop, so that will keep them from polluting their food. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but there is a chicken in the nesting box. Let me take the front down and we'll see what she's up to. There she is. So this is the nesting box. If you can get kind of a view of that, that would be great. Notice how the top of the nesting box, where it meets the roof, there's a little space along the sides, and that's on purpose because in the winter, when the nesting box is closed up, the chickens' breathing creates humidity, and so they need to have a little bit of fresh air coming in. Oh, I think we upset her and she's taken off. Let's go back in the yard. So one of the reasons that I like having chickens is because they're pretty and they're easy and they make eggs, which I love. And they have funny little personalities. I call them ladies, and they like to be out in the yard, but I only let them out because we don't have a fenced-in yard. And even some of our neighbors who have chickens who have fenced-in yards find that it's a challenge to keep them in the yard because they'll sometimes flutter over the fence. They can't fly very high, but they can build up a head of steam if they want to. Notice how this black one is laying down. They sun themselves and like to enjoy laying in the sun. Look, she's taking a little sun bath. Let me show you what some of the supplies look like. So this is my supply bin, and inside, oh, here's some eggs that I collected from this morning that I saved just in case we didn't have a chicken laying an egg when we came out to make the film. So in here, I keep my food in metal cans to protect it from critters getting in. And then the lids were a little bit leaky, so I put tape on them. But inside here, it really keeps the water out because wet food is not good, it rots. So in here, this is called Scratch, and it's not the mainstay of the chicken diet. It's chicken candy, basically. And it's how I entice my ladies to go back in to their chicken house when some of them are coming over because they saw me in the Scratch, when it's time to put them away. That's how I bribe them. But what they actually eat is, I use layer pellets, so you get the kind of food that your chicken is. So these are layers, because I don't raise meat chickens, because I'm too squeamish to try to butcher them. So these are layer pellets that are available at feed stores. The way that I got the chickens in the beginning is you get them as 1 or 2 day old hatchlings, and they're very tiny, and they need to live under a heat lamp inside of a aquarium. So, because the glass walls of the aquarium keep the heat in. And then they slowly grow up and slowly introduce them to the outside world. And then they start laying eggs. So these girls are maybe 3 years old at this point, and they'll probably continue to lay until they're about 6. So let's go see what they're up to and if they've tried to escape the yard. Ladies! I think I hear them. Ladies! Where are you? There's one on the patio. I hear some. Yeah. Oh, here's a bunch. They're back here digging around into the bush, looking for bugs and worms. They love a big, fat, juicy earthworm. So I try to let them out every day for 20 minutes at least. More is better, but some days if I get home from work late, they don't get more than just a few minutes outside. So today is Saturday and it's nice and sunny, so they're getting a longer break outside. The bedding that you saw in their nesting box, what I like to use is wood chips that I buy at the City Folk Farm Store, because it absorbs well and it's clean and it smells pretty nice. I mean, it gets stinky after a while, but it holds up better than straw does. I do have straw bales that I scatter around in their area as well, and then we also use their area as a compost. We're selective about the type of food that goes in there, but things like apple cores they love, broken up shells from their eggs they eat. They hate coffee grounds. Of course, no meat or dairy, that kind of thing, but leftover rice or leftover oatmeal. We put all that in there, which they enjoy as well. So, chickens are my hobby, and it's nice to tell you about it. Bye.